There's a kind of person who seems perfectly fine alone. They don't cling, they don't chase. They don't flood your phone when you're quiet. And from the outside, it looks like independence, like strength, like someone who just doesn't need people that much. But here's what most people never see: that independence isn't the absence of need, it's the management of fear. Underneath the calm, underneath the space, underneath the I'm fine on my own, there's a quiet, constant negotiation with closeness, wanting it and fearing it at the same time. This is avoidant attachment. And the behaviors that come from it don't look like avoidance. They look innocent, even admirable. In this video, we're going through 9 of those behaviors, and for each one, we're going to do something most videos on this topic skip. We're going to name the specific fear hiding underneath it, not just what you do, but what you're protecting yourself from when you do it. Think of it as a fear map. By the end, you'll know not just whether you're avoidant, but what exactly you're avoiding. And one more thing, keep count. If 5 or more hit home, there's something here worth sitting with. A quick frame before we start. Avoidant attachment doesn't mean you don't love people. It means your nervous system learned early on that closeness comes with a cost. Maybe a parent was emotionally unpredictable. Maybe showing need was met with dismissal. Maybe love came with strings. Either way, closeness stopped feeling safe. So you adapted. You built a system that keeps people close enough to enjoy but far enough that they can't hurt you. And it works until it doesn't. Until you realize you're surrounded by people but nobody actually gets in. That's not independence. That's a fortress with a welcome mat. Each behavior below is a brick in that fortress, and each fear underneath it is the reason the brick was placed there. Let's go. Number 1. You pull away when a relationship starts getting close. Things are going well. Someone is showing up consistently, warmly. And instead of relaxing into it, something in you starts pulling back. You get busy. You need space. You pick a fight about nothing. The fear underneath, engulfment. Not that they'll leave, but that they'll stay and you'll disappear inside it. For the avoidant, closeness doesn't just feel vulnerable. It feels like a threat to the self. If you let someone fully in, you lose the one thing that always kept you safe, your separateness. So you pull away not because you don't care, but because caring feels like the beginning of dissolving. If that one landed, count it. Number 2, you prefer texting over calling, always. A phone call feels like an ambush. It's live. It's unscripted. You can't draft and redraft what you're going to say. A text gives you something a call never does: control over the pace of emotional exchange. You can read, process, choose your words, manage the distance, all before you press send. The fear underneath, unscripted emotional demand. The avoidant nervous system craves predictability and connection. A call might go anywhere. Someone might cry. Someone might ask a question you're not ready for. Someone might need you in real time, and real time is where your carefully managed distance breaks down. Texting isn't a preference, it's a buffer. Count it if it's yours. Number 3, you keep your options open, even when things are going well. You don't fully close the door on other possibilities. Maybe it's a dating profile you never quite delete. Maybe it's a flirtation you keep at a low simmer. Maybe it's just a mental note that says, if this doesn't work, I have somewhere to go. You're not cheating. You're not even planning to leave. You're just making sure you can. The fear underneath, dependency. The moment you close every other door and fully commit to one person, you become dependent. And dependency for the avoidant feels like being trapped. Keeping options alive isn't about wanting someone else. It's about preserving the illusion that you could survive without this person. Because the alternative, that you actually need them, It is the scariest sentence in your vocabulary. Count it if it's yours. Number 4. You idealize people who are unavailable and lose interest when they get close. You're drawn to people at a distance, an ex, a crush who doesn't text back. They feel perfect because distance lets you fill in the blanks. Then someone available shows up, present and kind, and somehow the spark dies. The fear underneath, reality, not the person. The proximity. At a distance, love is an idea, and ideas don't ask you to be vulnerable. Up close, love is a person who sees you, needs you, and might discover the parts of yourself you've kept hidden. The avoidant doesn't fear love. They fear love up close. The distance was never the obstacle. It was the strategy. Count it if you've lived this cycle. Number 5. You shut down during arguments. When conflict rises, you don't yell. You go quiet, flat. Your face goes neutral. People call it cold, but from the inside it feels like everything just went offline, like someone pulled a plug. The fear underneath, emotional overwhelm. The avoidant shutdown isn't cruelty. It's a circuit breaker. When emotions get too hot, your system does the only thing it knows how to do: cut the power. Because somewhere you learned that feelings at high volume are dangerous. They lead to chaos, to loss of control, to someone getting hurt. So you power down to keep everyone safe, including yourself. The silence isn't hostility. It's an emergency exit from an intensity your system never learned to handle. Count it if this is your conflict pattern. Number 6. You describe yourself as independent, and you mean it as a compliment. It's in your bio. It's how you introduce yourself. I'm pretty independent. I don't need someone to complete me. And it's true. You've built a life that works without relying on anyone. You handle your own finances, your own emotions, your own crises. You're proud of it, and you should be. It's impressive. The fear underneath, vulnerability. Independence, for the avoidant, isn't just a lifestyle. It's a defense system. Every skill you built to handle things alone is also a reason you never have to ask anyone for help. And not asking means never being let down, never being dependent, never handing someone the power to disappoint you. The pride is real, but it's wrapped around a vow you made a long time ago. I will never need someone so much that losing them could break me. Count it if that vow lives somewhere in your chest. Number 7. You leave before you're left. You've ended things that were going fine. Not because you were unhappy, but because something in you felt the relationship approaching a depth that triggered the exit reflex. Maybe you found a flaw to focus on. Maybe you decided it's just not right. Maybe you convinced yourself you were being rational, but the timing is always the same. It happens right when things were about to get truly serious. The fear underneath, abandonment, but the avoidant version. You're not afraid of being left in the traditional sense. You're afraid of being invested so deeply that being left would actually devastate you. So you leave first. Not because you want to, but because leaving on your terms hurts less than being left on theirs. It's a preemptive strike against a wound that hasn't happened yet. And it works. Until you realize you keep standing outside doors you actually wanted to walk through. Count it if you've left something good because staying felt more dangerous than going. Number 8. You feel most loving when someone is pulling away. This is the one that confuses people the most. When someone is fully present, you feel fine, comfortable, maybe a little restless. But the moment they start withdrawing, a slow reply, a canceled plan, a shift in energy, something in you wakes up. Suddenly, you care more. You reach out. You feel a warmth and a wanting that wasn't accessible 5 minutes ago. Their distance activated your love. The fear underneath. Closeness is only safe in doses. The avoidant system is wired for what psychologists call activation at distance. You feel love most intensely when the threat of real intimacy is temporarily removed. The partner pulling away creates a gap, and in that gap, you can safely miss them without the danger of being engulfed by them. It's not that you don't love, it's that your love has a proximity sensor, and it only turns on when there's enough space to breathe. Count it if your feelings get louder when someone gets quieter. Number 9. You leave people on read, not out of malice, but because responding feels emotionally heavy. You see the message. You read it. You know what you want to say, but something between reading and typing feels like crossing a border, so you close the app. Later becomes hours. Hours become a day. And now the guilt makes replying even harder. The fear underneath. Emotional labor without an exit. Every message is a micro-invitation into connection, and every response is a micro-commitment. For the avoidant, even small exchanges carry weight, because each one is a thread that ties you a little closer to someone. You're not ignoring them. You're managing the pace at which you get attached, one unanswered message at a time. The irony is that the silence you use to protect yourself is the thing that slowly pushes people away. And somewhere, part of you knows that, and lets it happen anyway. Count it if you owe someone a reply right now, and you already know which one it is. Okay, let's land this. How many did you count? 1 or 2? You might have some avoidant tendencies, but they're not running your life. You're aware, and awareness alone changes the dynamic. 3 or 4. You're in the middle ground. The pattern is there, but it's not a wall. It's a door you haven't decided whether to open yet. Worth watching, worth sitting with. 5 or more? The fortress is real, not because something is wrong with you, but because something happened to you that made closeness feel like risk. And every behavior on this list was a logical response to that risk. You built a system that kept you safe. The question is whether that system is still serving you, or whether it's keeping out the very thing you need. If you recognized yourself here, I want to leave you with the most important reframe of all. Avoidant attachment is not a personality, it's a strategy. One you learned, probably very early, to survive a version of love that required you to be less than yourself. You can learn a different one. And the fear map we just built? It's not meant to shame you. It's meant to show you that every brick in the wall has a reason. And when you can see the reasons clearly, you don't have to tear the wall down all at once. You just have to notice which bricks are still protecting you, and which ones are keeping out the people you actually want to let in. At Inner Lens, we trace these patterns not to label you, but to help you see the shape of what you built and decide what comes next. If this one resonated, the next video maps a more complicated version of this. The fearful avoidant, the person who wants closeness and runs from it at the same time. It's right here.